Hey guys, welcome back to Get Out Alive Survival. My name is Chris. Thank you so much for stopping by. This is the second video that I am posting on this channel. This channel is going to be about survival and bushcraft techniques. If you watched my first video, I already went over some of that. But I want to explain to you guys that survival is going to be one of the key focuses of this channel, obviously. But, like I explained in the last video, I want to branch out and do bushcraft, camping, just pretty much anything that pertains to being in the outdoors, to trail hikes and things like that. I'm going to take you guys on some trails with me. I'm thinking about doing a little series called Trail Talk. Today, I'm going to do a video with you guys about one of the most important survival tools you can select, and that is a fixed blade knife. The internet, sporting goods stores, they are flooded with all kinds of folding knives, fixed blade knives, throwing knives. There is a host of different knives you can look at out there. In a survival or a bushcraft situation though, you are going to need to trust the tool you're using. So what we want to look at is what are some of the key features you want to select when you're picking out a fixed blade. Like I said, the internet is flooded with all kinds of knives that look really cool, knives that look like they're just made for getting out and cutting down a tree. But not all of those blades are going to hold up when you put them to the test. This knife video is just going to be about general features on picking out a knife. There is going to be another video coming up using some of these same knives out in a stress test environment. I'm going to take them out, show you guys firsthand what these knives do and how they hold up when they're put in a real outdoor situation. I'm shooting inside my shed today because I have the best lighting and I have a platform to show you guys the knives on. So I'm gonna bring you on closer so you can see the knives, and I'm gonna start at this end and just talk about general features of all the knives. Let's get into it. All right, I hope you guys can see that. Looks pretty good. Okay, so starting on this end, this knife is just a small stainless steel blade. It is a Morniv knife. This company is made in Sweden. They are great bushcraft knives. These knives are absolutely fantastic for fine detail work outside. They are stainless steel blades. You have a kind of rubbery molded over grip handle. It fits in the hand very nicely. It's an easy one-hand use. You've got plenty of area down here for your thumb if you want to do any kind of whittling or feather sticking. All that we'll get into later on in some outdoor videos. But this is a great knife to get started with. This knife is good for small fine detail work. No knife is going to pretty much do everything perfectly. That's just not the case. Most of the time, knives are made for a specific purpose. This knife is full tang, and that is one of the first features I want to talk to you guys about, is picking on a knife that is full tang. Now, if you're like me, when I first, years ago, got into collecting knives and outdoor gear, I did not have a clue about what some of this terminology meant or what to look for. I had never heard of some of it, and I certainly didn't know that when I was buying a $20 knife on Amazon that it looked straight out of a sci-fi film but was not at all made to really endure being out in the wild. So full tang is when the same metal that the blade is made out of extends past where you can see where the blade meets the handle all the way to the end of the handle. Full tang is the strongest knife construction you can get. The metal is solid tip to butt. That means that when you're working on a tree branch or you're trying to process wood or use this in a stressful situation, whatever that may be, that you have far less possibility of this knife breaking. If a blade is not full tang, that means somewhere down in here where you can't see, there is no longer material that the blade is made out of. It may be welded to a small piece of metal here in the handle that this is positioned around. It may end right here where the blade meets the handle or slightly underneath it. That is going to break as soon as you put it under any kind of stress. Those type of knives are for display, not hard use. So this is the sheath that this knife comes with. You've got a plastic sheath. It has a little hole here in the bottom, and what that is for is if you're out in the wild or you're in the woods, it starts raining or you get in some water, this is a drain hole. You have a little clip right here. You can put it on your pack or your belt. And again, Morin is a fantastic knife company. You will see a lot of survival and bushcraft people using Morin knives. They are time tested and they have a great value for the money. These knives are very inexpensive. You can find them on Amazon and they are low price point for the knife. One thing before I move on from this one is blade steel. There are a host of blade steels out there. The two I'm going to really go over with you today are stainless, which is what this is made out of. This is stainless steel. Nice reflective, there's no black coating, there's no corrosion resistant material sprayed on here or baked on here. This is just stainless steel. The great thing about stainless steel is if you get water on it, it will not immediately start to rust. It will not show rust spots immediately. And you want to keep a knife as dry as you can. One reason they have the drain hole there in the sheath, but it is okay if some water gets on this. This is not going to start rusting immediately. Dry it off, you're good to go. The difference is when you go into high carbon steel has a higher oxygen content in the metal. So this blade right here by Cold Steel, this is the GI Tonto, and this is a 1055 high carbon steel blade. High carbon steel is very good at edge retention and strength. High carbon steel is very, very robust and durable in the field. These knives will hold up to a lot of abuse. And this Cold Steel is one of my absolute favorite outdoor survival and bushcraft knives. This is just a solid knife that full tang, let me show you, metal continues all down here through the handle. These scales are attached by bolts here on either side, holding that against the full tang of the knife. Very strong. You can see all the way to the end that is full tang. There you go. 1055 carbon steel, like I said, higher oxygen content, and that adds to edge retention and durability. What, however, that also brings into play is if this gets wet, it's much more likely to rust. Rust spots will show up on this quicker. Once again, Cold Steel has included a drain hole here in the bottom. This will allow water to run out of the knife. You have this Securex sheath that it comes with. This is a very nice sheath that they include. Hard. It is got the belt attachment right here. The cool thing that I'll get to in a minute is some of the sheath system, but let me continue on the carbon steel. This knife, as you notice, is black all over the metal you see. The reason for that is Cold Steel, as well as a number of other manufacturers, put a either baked or whatever the process they use to adhere this finish to the blade. And what this is corrosion resistant. This is designed so that if this gets wet, you're not actually 99% of water is not touching anywhere. The only place you actually see the metal that the blade is made out of is right here on the very, very fine edge on the outside. Let's see if you can see that. There you go. You can see it here on the point. This is a Tonto knife, like I said, so it has this nice beefy point to it. You also have some cutting area here, as well as all this. The baked on finish allows the knife to get wet without rusting in those spots. That is a great feature. Also, this adds some slick aspects to the blade so that if you are trying to go through a piece of wood or chop, it's less resistance to the blade. Back to the sheath on this knife. Like I said, you have the Securex hard sheath that it comes with. You've got all these lanyard holes right here on it that you can use to fix it to a bag, put it on your gear. A lot of options right there. What they have done is included this nice belt loop swivel attachment up here at the top. And the cool thing about this is that unlike most knife sheaths, you do not have to undo the belt to slide this on. You can undo it like this, put it on your belt, Velcro and snap feature, and you got it closed back over your belt. That's a really nice feature. That way you can get this on and off your belt very quickly. All right, moving on down the line here. Kind of skipped over this one. This one is a lot like the Cold Steel as far as shape. This uses paracord for the handle. That is a cord that we will go over in some videos later on. This is a extremely useful survival item. So we will cover what paracord is later on. But it is a multi-strand cord that they have done a weave pattern on here to make a handle out of. This blade is, or this knife is one single piece of metal. You've got some serrations, and what that is these cutting edges up here at the top. It's not a straight edge like the bottom of the blade. These are used for, you can cut cordage easier with serrations, and you can use that as a saw. This knife is a lot like the Cold Steel. Some major differences: you do not get the handle cover down here like you do with the Cold Steel, and this is stainless steel. This knife is just a very basic kind of field knife. If you want something, and this is a very inexpensive knife, you can get this for, I believe, a little under $15 on Amazon. It is a, basic, straightforward fixed blade. It's a good place to get started if you want just a basic, knife to kind of get the feel for fixed blades with. But I would definitely recommend the Cold Steel over it. The Cold Steel also is a very inexpensive fixed blade to get started with. Moving on from there, this is the company Schrade. This is their SCHF3, and this is a fixed blade, a little bit different than the Cold Steel and the Moranev. It is fixed blade, full tang. You got these fantastic handle scales right here. These are very good in the hand. This knife fits very well in the hand. You have these finger grooves here. Your fingers can just slide in there. You've got a nice guard right here where your finger does not go up on the blade. And this right here is called a choil. This is where you can choke up on the knife if you are doing fine detail work and you need a little more control down here at the blade. So this is, once again, Schrade. It is black coated. You have that corrosion resistance. You have a lanyard here on the end of the handle. You have hex screws right here that attach on each side the blade. Once again, you can see that very robust full tang. One thing this knife does include down here is it's not a straight edge all the way across. When you get down here, you have this section back towards the handle that is serrated. Once again, like I said, that gives you cutting options as far as getting through cordage and some other things that might be harder to get through with a straight edge. Great survival knife. This one has a bit more in the sheath as far as features included with it. You have a snap enclosure up here for the handle. You have a plastic insert right here for sliding the blade in so it does not cut through any of this nylon. You have a storage pouch here in the front. That is a huge, plus on a sheath if you can put some of your other survival items with it. Fire steel, waterproof matches, just a host of things, a sharpening stone, all kinds of things you can store in this if you want to make a little kit out of your sheath. So that is something a little bit different with the Schrade sheath. You have more options as far as being able to include things with it. Moving on down, this next knife is a Schrade as well. This is their old-timer Bowie knife. This is a larger blade than what we've looked at so far. This is a much larger knife than a lot of the ones we've looked at. If if you compare this to the Moranev, you can see you have a lot more blade on this knife. What that opens up is, whereas the Moranev is great for fine detail, this is going to be good for larger tasks, chopping, stripping branches off of a piece of wood that you're trying to break down for kindling or firewood. Once again, you have the full tang feature. I'm telling you, this is one of the biggest features I look for on a knife first, is it full tang? If this is a no on full tang, it is pretty much the end of me looking at the knife. This is the strongest knife construction. In survival situations, you are going to want to have the best tools and the best chances of what you're using helping you get out, helping you make it until you are back to safety. You have, once again, handle scales here. It's a little bit different. These are attached with pins that are driven through the handle on both sides, and it goes through the metal of the tang. It goes straight through. There are 2 holes in this, and they drive the pin straight through. Bigger knife, like I said, not going to be so much for fine detail work, though you can, but it is for chopping and bigger tasks like that. All right, final knife. Hey guys, sorry. So while I was filming this, I came to discover that my camera for some reason shut off in the middle of the video. So the Becker knife that I'm holding right here got cut off in the last segment I was doing. So I'm going to continue on and finish up the knife, fixed blade knife video with this Becker BK9. This is produced by the company KBar. You will see this knife all over the internet. This is a great knife brand. KBar, as you've probably heard of, is a legend in the knife world. They make fixed blades that hold up under extreme situations. This is a knife by them called the Becker BK9. This is a large, once again, a large fixed blade. This is very good for chopping and processing wood for kindling and fires. So this, again, you can do some fine detail work. You will probably more likely choose this knife for its chopping features. Again, full tang. As you can see, metal continues all the way through. You have a striking surface down here that comes out at the end of this handle. This can be used in a variety of situations to break or smash. You have that kind of as an extra tool feature of this knife compared to some of the others we looked at. But once again, you have a very large fixed blade here with smooth handle scales, and if you'll notice the way this one fits in the hand, you have this nice curved area down here. Helps you keep control of the knife, helps it from slipping around too much. Your hand's not, you know, if you got a good grip, your hand's not going to slide off the end. And you have guard up here that keeps your hand from going up onto the blade. This is a straight edge. There are no serrations on this knife. Black coated, again, corrosion resistant. Now, the only part of the blade or metal that the knife is made out of, the carbon steel, is this very outside edge. Your cutting edge is all that you actually see. So again, another protection against corrosion and rusting from water. This knife, when I do the outdoor field test video, you'll see you have a spine back here. That's another knife feature, is this is the spine of the blade. This is a flat, non-sharpened surface, and this you can use in a variety of situations for driving the knife down through a piece of wood. You can use another piece of wood to slap on top of here and drive this through to split wood in half. That is a great feature. Up here you have a very nice wide spine, so that way you can, again, really a great firewood processing tool. Well, that wraps up this video for the this section of the fixed blade knives for this video. Like I said, I will be doing another video on these fixed blades and taking them outside, using them in an outdoor situation, and we'll go over some of the multitude of tasks you can do with a lot of these knives. So thanks again so much for stopping by. Like I said, let's get out of live survival. I am so excited to be doing this channel. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. So I am so glad that I'm finally getting the opportunity to make these videos and post them up for you guys. I hope you like what you see, and I definitely hope you'll come back as I continue to post more videos. Like I said earlier, hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. That way you'll know every time I put up a new video. My name is Chris. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I will see you guys next time.